Hello guys, welcome back. My name is Grav and today we're going to be talking about the big signing of Johnny Gaudreau going to the Columbus Blue Jackets. Now, this signing was really weird from top to bottom and really the most confusing and interesting signing of day one of free agency. Gaudreau goes to Columbus, but there's a lot more than meets the eye, with New Jersey and the Islanders being super close to a deal, as well as him leaving Calgary and going to Columbus for a team that still needs to make some big moves outside of this deal to actually make this cap work for them. But when it comes to Gaudreau in Columbus, what is the contract and how will he fit with the Blue Jackets? Watch till the end for all of the free agent talk and all of the news. Make sure that subscribe button to the Sportsnet YouTube channel for the best sports coverage around. And without further ado, let's get into this Johnny Gaudreau deal. Now, really the past day has been extremely interesting for Johnny Gaudreau. Last night, it was confirmed that Gaudreau would be leaving the Calgary Flames and going onto the open market, which is not an easy decision to make. And I think coming into today, most people had him going to potentially the Philadelphia Flyers, potentially the New Jersey Devils, maybe even the New York Islanders as a very interesting, maybe outside team that could go in to the negotiations. Then this morning, it was reported that the Devils and the Islanders were the two teams going in on Gaudreau, locked and loaded, trying to sign him to a contract. And I think you all know what happens next. The Columbus Blue Jackets come out of nowhere, end up reportedly giving a $12 million 7-year deal. Even though that might be false, they eventually ended up signing him, taking him from the grips of the Islanders and the Devils' hands, and signing him to a pretty massive deal. Now, when it comes to the contract itself, apparently it'll be a 7-year deal for the Blue Jackets and a 9.75 AAV. Now, it was also reported that the Devils were reportedly giving more than $10 million up, so maybe that wasn't the case, maybe it was something different, but he does sign with Columbus at that 9.75 mark, not quite at $10 million, but still being one of the highest paid wingers and forwards in the entire National Hockey League. But Columbus is a really interesting fit with Gaudreau this last year. He was one of the more valuable players in the entire NHL and ended up getting fourth in Hart votes in 82 games, 40 goals, 75 assists for 115 points. Even though I don't think he'll be that good with Columbus and there will be some adjustments to be had, he's right in the prime of his career, age 28, and this is a player that can really change that Columbus offense and again make that East so much more competitive, as if it wasn't competitive already. And the last few years before this last one with Gaudreau and Calgary were pretty fascinating. In 2018, he took that big step into becoming the point-per-game player for the first time in his career, 84 points in 80 games. Then in 2019, he takes an even bigger step, 99 points in 82 games, 36 goals as well. But then 2020 hits, and only 58 points in 70 games. And you start to see that decline just a little bit. And this last year, in 2021, he got 49 points in 56 games. And then in 2022, he's back to a marvelous level, 115 points in 82 games and 40 goals for a career high. With Gaudreau, he's shown that season-wide, there can be some inconsistencies. And I think for the Blue Jackets, that is something to work out. But considering the center core that the Blue Jackets are building with Sillinger, with Kent Johnson, with other players as well, like Jack Roslovic, there are options with the Blue Jackets that Gaudreau can play off of. Maybe not as good as Matthew Tkachuk, but at the same time, the Blue Jackets core is building quite well. And again, especially alongside Kent Johnson, I feel like that pair going into the future can be pretty fantastic. Now let's go on to the line combos from Daily Faceoff here for the Blue Jackets slotting up right now. You got that first line of Line A, Roslovic, Nyquist, second line of Johnson, Jenner, and Borkstrand, then the third line of Voracek, Sillinger, and Shinnikov. But this is the interesting thing. They obviously, with the Blue Jackets, are in a pretty interesting spot. With Gaudreau, they have $3.1 million to work with. And with the Daily Faceoff, you can obviously see Patrick Laine is a part of things, but he's an RFA. He has not gotten re-signed. He has no contract right now. And Johnny Gaudreau will face off in that first left wing spot that Patrick Laine usually has. So if we see this happen where they still are able to keep Laine, you'd have Gaudreau as the first line left wing probably, and Laine right below it. And even though the Blue Jackets could probably just get rid of Gustav Nyquist and call it a day, at the same time there might be some issues there considering how how little, of course, that Max Pacioretty got for the Canes bringing on $7 million of his contract, how little the Sharks were able to get in the Brent Burns trade. So it's obvious that salary is still a big part of deals, and Nyquist might not be that easy to get rid of. I mean, JVR is another example, $7 million, and the Flyers weren't able to deal him in this free agency and draft period. So to me, even though Nyquist would be the easy option to trade, it might not be so easy to actually trade him in the end. And considering that Laine isn't re-signed, that makes this whole situation that much more cloudy for Columbus. And could we even see a Patrick Laine trade happen? That's what we're kind of seeing right now. And even though the Blue Jackets said they want to re-sign both and are going to re-sign both, it's easier said than done, especially for Laine, who wants that big career payday, just like Gaudreau. But I feel like for the Blue Jackets, this is a really interesting ad, and even though I feel like he might have fit better in New Jersey with just how much better that center crop is, even than the Blue Jackets one is, at the same time, I still think Columbus will give him a great opportunity. They'll put him on the first power play. They'll have him as the best forward, and I think the center core can build around him. And as Kent Johnson likely becomes that first-line dynamic offensive player, I feel like the Blue Jackets will have a fit right at home with Gaudreau on that left side, and potentially even Bjorkstrand on that right side too. So maybe we see Roslovic at center, maybe you have Gaudreau as a left winger, maybe you have Bjorkstrand as the first line right winger to start things off with Gaudreau's Columbus career. But at the same time, it feels like for Gaudreau, it was a fit for him. He wanted to go to Columbus, and this is eventually what happened. Still, pretty crazy to actually see this happen, but the Blue Jackets forward group looks a lot better now and a lot more built for the future. But that'll be it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed the breakdown, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell to the Sportsnet YouTube channel if you haven't already for all the content surrounding free agency and the NHL offseason. Of course, make sure you comment down below. What do you guys think of this Gaudreau deal? Is it an overpay? Is it an underpay? How well do you think he'll do in Columbus? And how many points as well do you see him getting in year one and throughout his career? Let me know all your thoughts down below. Share this video with your friends. Get it to all the hockey fans and maybe even Blue Jackets fans you guys know online. And I will see you in the next one. Have a great day, and goodbye.